Election Day, kind of saluting the folks, the Trump caravan that almost ran the Biden bus off the road. You know, you hear something like that from someone who's supposed to be a mainstream Republican senator, you realize that Trumpism, and that's part of what the Lincoln Project was formed to defeat, Trumpism is a powerful thing. It may be a loser politically, but do you anticipate it to survive Donald Trump?
Oh, absolutely. Look, we have almost 48% of this country that's voted for a statist, authoritarian movement with fascistic markers that's hostile to American democracy, to the rule of law, that venerates an individual that's a cult of personality. I think that Tucker Carlson is the front runner for the Republican nomination in 2024. What you're going to see is every Republican candidate will kowtow to the conspiracy that Trump was stabbed in the back by unseen malicious forces of the deep state, that the election was stolen, that it's illegitimate. I mean, forever, more than a majority of the Republican Party will believe this was an illegitimate election because they have been poisoned by the Murdoch operation, by OAN, by Sinclair, by the toxic sludge of sewage and crap and disinformation and lies that flows on Facebook into the screens of the American people. And so this is a long-term fight. You know, we have an emboldened white supremacist, white nationalist movement in this country now because of Trump. We see a militia movement that has become part and parcel of the Republican Party, where it's now standard operating procedure at a political rally to see the guys with their AR-15s. So all of this needs to be sealed back under a sarcophagus of the type that lays over the Chernobyl reactor. But it's going to take a long time to do it. The good news is this: the majority of the country has rejected this. They've rejected it by more than 4 million votes. The states of Georgia will flip, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. This is a very substantial victory by Vice President Biden. It is a historic victory. It is hard to turn a president out of office. Donald Trump has been repudiated by the righteous anger of the American people significantly. Now, the Trump enablers like Lindsey Graham, they paid no price. They were rewarded for it. And now we see Lindsey Graham standing up with Donald Trump in what is tantamount, at least rhetorically, to a coup. In the end, from Lexington and Concord forward, the idea of the country was that we, and by we, I mean the people, govern ourselves. We pick the leaders. Our politicians don't tell us how long they wish to serve. We tell them. And Trump has been fired because of his recklessness, his insanity, his malfeasance, his incompetence, and because he's the worst president in the history of the country who has presided over one of the greatest calamities in the history of the country. It's time to pack up. Every single Republican elected official in this country, from dog catcher to U.S. Senator to governor, has an absolute moral and an American obligation to support the integrity of the election and the result of the winner. And the winner is Joe Biden, the 46th president of the United States, come January 20th, 2021 at the noon hour.
Boom. Boom. My goodness. What an epic rant. Oh, I loved every moment of it. Oh. Do I agree with him that we're going to be stuck in this quagmire for a long time, and that Tucker Carlson is going to be the 2024 presidential candidate? I don't know, man. I personally think that Trumpers, Trump took advantage of people who hate the government. Just people who hate the government, and also racists, and also just never Democrats, right? And the people who watch the Sinclair, the Murdochs, and the OANs, the Fox News, the Breitbarts, right? The Tucker Carlsons. What is his? I can't even remember what his crap is. The Daily Caller, is that Carlson? I can't remember. Sorry to the Daily Caller if they're not. But wow. Emboldening white nationalism. That is what I am worried about. Because look, the one thing I've been saying for a long time is a lot of the Tea Partiers, right? They have turned into the Trumpers, right? And so, like, the Trumpers are just going to get caught up with the next new shiny object, and they're just going to give themselves a new name. So when he says, like, we're going to have to deal with, these Trump people for a long time, I mean, we've kind of been dealing with that, the Tea Party was largely preyed upon by the OANs and by all the Fox Newses and everything because of their mistrust of government, right? The don't tread on me. I mean, that's essentially what the don't tread on me flags turned into Trump 2020 flags, right? Trump 2016 flags, Trump 2020. And with this, I mean, that was seriously just such a brilliant, description of kind of where we are as a nation. There's just a lot of gray in there that, I thought would be important to address. And that is, like, are they going to be Trumpers? I don't think so. I think they're going to. And even if, Tucker Carlson is the next kind of like leader of it, like, it's going to be under a new name, right? But it's going to be largely the same, right? But yeah, using words like poisoned, he's fired, it's time to pack up. Just awesome. I'm gonna upload that to the channel and my reaction to it, because that was awesome. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Lincoln Project, please go over and check out that YouTube channel. You've probably seen a few of their videos. Maybe you just didn't know who they were. They are a group of Republicans, basically like Trump's never Trumpers, which a lot of kind of middle of the road and more progressive leaning people are really, really appreciate what they're doing and the impact that they've had on the election. But there's also, with politics, there's people out there who are super divided on them. There are progressives who think that, like, yeah, cool. You guys came out and you guys, you're making, millions of dollars with your ads against Donald Trump. But where the hell were you when Barack Obama was getting treated the way he was? You know what I mean? And so it's for anybody who's, seen how the Republican Party has behaved. It's like, all right, Lincoln Project, like, cool. You guys are obviously clearly like intellectual dudes. I get it. But a lot of people have a problem with people being silent. And what he just said, you have a moral obligation. You have a moral obligation to speak out, to stand up for the principles that our nation and for the procedure that our nation set up centuries ago. Look, man. Look, bro. I'll just say this. I agree with everything you said. Where the fuck were you during the Obama administration? Okay. Cool. All right.